Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of your Impact Attack. Yes, it is your Impact Attack, and I am Colin Wysong, and I am here each and every week on channelattitude.com and on the Hameen Media Group Podbean channel. So that's it's podbean.com backslash Hameen Media Group, or is it hameenmediagroup.podbean.com? Something of that nature. Someone chat, get on that, please. But I am not alone. Oh, this poor man, he is shaking his head in utter disgust already. He is already done with this show, and it's only been 42 seconds on the StreamYard. He is the 14-time best takers of the Razor's Edge champion, the vet. Vet, welcome to the show. You take it the best. I've seen the footage. 14-time champion of taking it the best.
Oh, I'm so happy to be on this prestigious episode.
What's the secret?
Tuck your chin.
How are you doing this week, Vet? You sound very down. You sound very out of it.
Man, I'm tired. I don't know if this is the place to discuss this, but we might have to figure out like a new schedule because this isn't working for me.
No, that's totally fine. We can totally talk about this after the show. Yeah, because
Yeah.
things might change up here too. So
All right. But yeah, but that's probably it. That's probably what you're hearing. Um, I was on streaming earlier. Elden Ring. Some of the people were here. Javi was there. Um, and Bobo stopped in, and Sonic, and a lot of our usual gang stopped in to hang out, which I appreciate. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. But I'm not the only one here. We got someone else here.
you are not the only one here. We are also joined by our third man in the booth. You know him, ladies. Ladies, you love him. Fellas, you love him too. He's for everyone. He's polyamorous. It's Brandon.
What it do?
Right. Why is it so smoky in here?
What smoke?
Where's all this smoke coming from?
What smoke? What music? What slow motion?
I don't know. Okay, let's just move on. Well, guys, we're here today on a very somber note. I guess we can just jump right into it. I know Ben Hameen talked about it a little bit today, I guess on the Monday locker room. And look, I guess Chris Saban's here. RIP to the bad guy, as it says on Brandon's moniker there, as Scott Hall, 1/3 of the Outsiders, a man who was definitely a part of a large chunk of when I watched wrestling, all the way up from the Razor Ramon character to the 1-2-3 Kid feud, to the Intercontinental title match with Shawn Michaels, the Outsiders. I didn't watch much of what he did in TNA, but I know after he went down that deep, dark slope, TNA was kind of his rebound. He got fixed and got like better to come back and perform again. But I believe they took him off of life support today, early this morning. They were just trying to get all of his family together. And so RIP to Scott Hall. Vet, do you have any fond moments, anything that you want to throw on for a guy who is definitely like, I think very influential, because a lot of like for the demons that he had, the moments that he created in wrestling are definitely some of the most iconic moments of all time. Like,
Yeah. I mean, just like everybody, it's starting from probably early 90s all the way to today. Scott Hall's been a big part of any wrestling fan's life. I know he did stuff before the early 90s. Trust me. I'm just saying that me personally, at that age, I was not watching AWA and I was not watching, I did not see WCW. I did not see the Diamond Stud. I did not see Cowboy Scott Hall. I did not see, that early stuff until later. I saw it much later. I saw him as Razor Ramon. That's the first time I saw him. And he really figured into wrestling in a prominent way ever since then. Going on to WCW and all that stuff. He's been involved in everything. So yeah. So like a lot of people, I have a lot of great memories of that sort of he was a huge part of the mid 90s, part of the clique that eventually, talk about influential, for good or bad, they have shaped the direction of the entire industry in some form or fashion. So like inside, like behind the scenes, huge player, great mind for the business, just very smart, intelligent, cerebral in the way he would approach things, from creative points of view. I only wish that he was as smart outside of the ring in his choices and things like that, because a lot of the rest of what we hear about Scott Hall was very unfortunate about his substance abuse problems and him not being able to, quite shake them. DDP came in late stages, helped him out, got him clean, maybe a relapse or two along the way, but as far as I had heard, he'd been doing well recently. And then I guess he had a hip surgery recently. Things got complicated from there. Things went downhill from there. Heard about it yesterday. Went downhill even faster in a hurry, going from multiple heart attacks news to on life support news to off life support news to Scott Hall has passed away just a couple of hours ago, is the latest thing that we've heard. So right up to the minute that we're recording this, all the way from the 80s and 90s, Scott Hall's been a huge part of all of our lives as wrestling fans. And just because he's gone now doesn't mean he won't be, because he's got, like you suggested, so many unforgettable moments, from Intercontinental Championship wins, ladder match at WrestleMania 10, the
rematch at
SummerSlam. I mean, when he showed up originally in '92, he was immediately paired with Ric Flair in the WWF. Like some people may forget that Ric Flair was and Scott Hall were a tag team. Razor Ramon were a tag team at one point in time. But from that, and then walking through the crowd on Monday Nitro, doing the whole, Invasion, Outsiders, NWO eventually, bring the NWO to the WWF, the TNA in the early days. He was one of those guys like that was there right at the beginning and at different points throughout. Hall of Fame inductions. I mean, Scott Hall was just always around. So, I mean, yeah, he's not going to just be forgotten just because he passed away today.
Of course, yeah, of course. And who would have thought? Who would have had on their death board Hogan outliving Nash and Hall there? Brandon, what are your thoughts on the whole entire thing?
I mean, Scott Hall left like an undeniable mark on the business. Like, his impact will not be forgotten. He is one of those guys that if he was not there, the landscape would be a completely different landscape. There would be a different history. And you cannot say that about a lot of people.
That's true.
Talented performer. Like Vet said, incredibly brilliant in the ring. From stories I've heard, like especially like what he did for Jericho, going and saying like, hey, wouldn't it make more sense and be better if I put him over? Like me going over does nothing for me, but him going over me does more for him. And although, I mean, there'd be times where he could, bust your balls a bit, but man, it's a story of, what can happen if you, actually turn your life around if you really want it. And I think I hope that's what he's most remembered for is overcoming those demons and winning that battle.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point. He a lot of those guys definitely overcame a lot of the demons that they had. I mean, even Sean Waltman is one of those guys that was going down a dark path. Uh, you know, so and you hear the stories of them riding around. It's Nash, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and all they did was just talk about the business, talk about how to make the business better, and that's it. Like they just continued to work their craft, uh, trying to slowly take over the business like they had, and that's where like when they went to WCW and they were walking through the crowd, like you didn't have the 24/7 news cycle where you knew these guys were going to be there. You knew what those guys were there for. Like it was just Meltzer and those guys that were out there. You didn't have Sean Ross Sapp tweeting like, "All right, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are going to be there tonight, guys. Backstage news." Like that was the buzz. Like, who sent them? Did Vince really send these guys over here? Like, what the hell's going on? And then that moment that Hogan like joined those guys when it was supposed to be Sting. I know they originally offered it to Sting, and Hogan kind of like swooped in, and because they offered it to Hogan first, I believe is the story, and then Hogan was kind of like, so they went to Sting, and then Hogan was like, yeah, no, I'll take it, like I'll do it, and that changed. I mean, look at what that did for Hogan's career. It rejuvenated Hogan. Like the NWO was game changing for the state of wrestling. You could say it spawned the Attitude Era, and it was the catalyst for what happened with us getting Stone Cold and The Rock.
If they didn't push WWF against the wall, would they have had the motivation to create the product that they did and create the Attitude Era?
You got to be edgy.
Outsider edgy?
Outsider edgy. More like a Razor's Edge edgy.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Vet, do you have anything else that you wanna talk about? I wish I had my 10 bell salute thing on my roadcaster. I'd move some things around.
Not really, but just on the Scott Hall thing about, we talk about how good he was inside the business and for the business, but I think it's important to be fair and mention that he's a cautionary tale outside the business. You cannot ride that hard and expect the wheels not to fall off at some point, which they did. I mean, you can get clean, but the damage is done. And those guys on the roads with all the steroids, the drugs, the alcohol, all that stuff, it's a potent cocktail that ended a lot of lives. And Scott Hall outlasted a few of them, but I can't help but think like not only could his life have been extended a little bit further if he had not made some of those choices, but also because he wouldn't have been a liability around the actual active part of the business, he could have contributed so much more, even as much as he contributed when his in-ring career was over. Mm-hmm. People would have wanted to have him around for his mind for the business and his ability to help. You will find as more and more people give their take on Scott Hall, you will find that they will have stories about how he just when he wanted to be, he could be just so very genuine and helpful and kind with his advice. You'll find personal anecdotes all over social media if you look. But it could have been even more than that. He could have been sober the whole time. He could have been actively helping. We could have a better product today if Scott Hall had been able to be a part of it instead of a liability around it, which is why nobody wanted him, you know, nobody in booking meetings or things or to give him a job, because they were just like, okay, when's he going to fall off the wagon again?
Mm-hmm.
So the moral of the story is, guys, don't do drugs. Okay. Be responsible. Because we all have something to contribute on this planet, but not if we're not around to do it. So just keep that in mind every time you are feeling selfish and want to self-medicate.
There's some other superstars that are going through some things at this time that are kind of similar to some of the demons that Hall has or had. I know his son was trying to wrestle and get into the business. I think he was trying to break in. But definitely, he's going to be missed. Like you said, we still have those moments. Trying to think, there was something that you said that I wanted to piggyback off of it, but I can't quite remember what it said. But we do have some people here in the chat. It looks like everyone left the chat. Yes, because I saw Liz was in there earlier. Lizbeth was in there earlier. Javi was in there earlier. Lab Rat was in there. Let's see. Alexa was over on Twitch. Scott Woodford. Buckshot Kid. Let's see. Chris Sabin he's hiding under me and you. Apparently, Vet.
Yeah,
and then
this is
just
probably
to-
Google screwing up.
Just a heads up, Mickey James was attacked by Tasha Steeles during James' band performance, not for TV taping. You just imagine you like pay like $100 or something like that to go see Mickey James perform, and then like some lady comes out like 4 songs into the concert and like whoops her ass on stage, and then that's the end of the concert. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
That was
because
cool.
you're definitely paying $100 to see Mickey James, and you have no idea who Tasha Steeles is, right?
Hey, some people
I
might
only
just
know
be
her
like,
from
hey,
her music. She,
like
are you
country
saying she's a wrestler?
she wrestles? That disgruntled fan just whooped her ass with a big giant red X.
Yeah. One Afro-Latina woman just jumped up on stage with her possibly Afro friend and put the
Assaulted a
Timbs to
woman.
Mickey James.
Assaulted a woman with Timberlands and a big giant red X.
So Elizabeth and Labrat are saying they're still here, but I didn't see their names in there. So like I said, it's probably just Google screwing up.
Google screwing up. We've got 2 over
I can't
on,
blame them. They're probably distraught about Scott Hall over at Google, so they're probably not really accurately measuring the.
Yeah, Google would totally be like that.
Yeah.
We got 2 over on Twitch, and we got 2 over in the YouTube channel, or 4 over in the YouTube channel at this moment. Said the video is bad. The band still played when she got attacked. Of course. Did they play Tasha Steele's entrance music when like Mickey James is like singing into the mic, and then all of a sudden Tasha Steele's music starts playing, and she like looks around and stops. They're still just playing.
Her band stops and starts playing Tasha's entrance music.
You can't get away from it. Everywhere you go, they got to play entrance music when you come out. Now, do you think Tasha Steeles did the Jeff Hardy and like danced on the way down, like while like Evans was getting her licks in? Like she's like strutting it out.
in this analogy, it would have been club security that was dancing before they broke it up.
Or Chelsea.
Or Chelsea, yeah.
Chelsea's like, oh, Matt, you brought me to this very lovely concert.
And he's like, I'm sorry, babe, what were you saying? I couldn't hear you over my digital media championship.
Sorry, I was playing with my figures. What's going on?
He's got his figures at the concert.
Yeah, he takes them everywhere. He has like, she probably has like a 2-figure max. Like, all right, Matt, you get to take your favorite 2. Which 2 you gonna take today? He's like, oh man, I've really been feuding with Brett and Stone Cold. We're gonna take these 2 today. Oh, you son of a bitch.
I still stand by what I said, that she's going to leave him over those toys, just like all the other women have.
But she gets like half of it, right? They're married, so
She
she
can.
gets Castle Grayskull.
And she's going to sell the shit out of it too, you know.
She gets
Yes.
half of his He-Man collection.
You know when they go out to like Liz says, like taking a kid out. You know when they go out to eat, he gets the little placemat with the maze and the crayons.
He gets a kid's milk.
Yeah.
Can I get a straw,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah. Can I get a straw?
Can we cut this straw down a little bit, please? It's too long for the cup.
Bro, I'm the
They
NWA
get it
champion.
everywhere.
Can I get a straw? Yeah. Well, before we get into any further Impact, I have a scouting report,
Uh-oh.
because as I was watching this episode, I noticed a familiar face in the audience, and it turns out that a friend of mine was there.
JTG?
At the taping. No, it's another young black gentleman.
Sergio was there?
Nope, it was not Sergio. It's nobody you guys know, but it's somebody I know. Okay. And his name is Adrian F. I will respect his anonymity. But I told him, so was that you in the front row? And he was like, yeah, I was there, and a sacrifice. So I asked him, I expect a scouting report from you, please, that I will use for our Impact Attack episode.
Very cool. I had a guy that I knew that was at both the tapings. He went to Sacrifice, I think, and he went to one of the tapings before. Or he was at No Surrender. He was at one, because it was down when they were down in New Orleans. He was there.
Y'all
So
know.
That information is very useful, Colin.
Down
But
in
now
Orleans.
here I have something on the current
Yeah, this is
actual
really cool.
tapings. So his takeaways just off the top of his head were that the Sacrifice crowd was way more energetic than the Impact crowd. Josh Alexander is pretty over. Eddie Edwards got the most heat. Tasha Steelz is great.
Yeah.
He's pretty sure he heard Chelsea Green's wrist break. and Moose did a meet and greet, and maybe he was in character but was not friendly at all. LOL. I was leaving and saw. So Moose living the gimmick. Very proud of Moose. We love Moose here on the Moose Moose. We haven't called it the Moose Moose in a while, probably because I don't really think they've been respecting Moose as much as we have. And it's hard to genuinely call it a Moose Moose, but it really is, and it should be the Moose Moose.
On the Ha Moosey Media Moose.
Yeah. Hameen Moose Group.
I mean,
It's like Mark Clark, except Moose.
Yeah.
Not Mark Lars, Mark Tards, and Lovers of Clark bars. You can find that over on the Wednesday locker room that does not exist. Except every once in a while they drop an episode.
Yeah. They're,
Oh, look, I'm getting told
special
that
appointment viewing.
there's one thing that's missing from our broadcast right now, and the chat is saying that they miss it and they love it. It's been Hameen versus Moose. The Ayatollah. The only man to stand up to Moose and to destroy him. Ya Allah.
Oh, he doesn't look too destroyed, so.
He showed mercy.
Ah, yes. Well, what was not merciful is this episode of Impact this week. I really regretted that there's nothing too much to say on
That's why
this
we're gonna talk
relatively
Scott Hall
boring
the whole
episode. Yeah. Well, it seems like we've done that, and now here we are with the rest
Here
of
we are.
it.
What did Moose do? Just cover Moose.
All right. Let's see. Delete. Moose visits D'Amour's office.
Yes.
And Moose will he will either sign this contract to face Josh Alexander, or he will be stripped of the Impact Championship. And Moose says he does to his credit, or whoever's credit that told him to say it, was like, why is there no big this is a big deal. Why is there no big contract signing? You know, and Scott D'Amore said some bullshit. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
Did he have his headphones around his neck?
Probably. Does he ever not? I don't even know if those things might be grafted on by now.
They're like a part of his body now.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Kind of like the boss Godric the Grafted in Elden Ring, which you can catch my playthroughs on twitch.tv/opinionhaver if you want to see something else grafted. But in any case, yeah.
Oh, keep it clean here, Vet. This is a PG-13 show.
Fair enough. Well, that's all the moose we have for you in this episode. So I'm afraid that bought us about a minute.
Yeah.
We're going to have to review the whole show.
Damn it.
I know. But yeah, when we do Impact, guys, it's kind of like when it rains, it pours. Like sometimes we have to do 2 shows in an episode just because they'd be throwing out these random bi-weekly pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's so terrible.
And then sometimes we get a show that's just in the middle with nothing else, not attached to anything. Just not a go-home show, not a coming off the pay-per-view show, just a show in the middle. Nothing really happens. They kind of phone it in. No, I mean, I don't mind if you phone it in because you can't have like, I just was on the Smack Attack and I cut a very serious promo about how professional wrestling has in general, especially, they're trying to, we seem to have
He's
lost
been having internet issues all night. He was telling me so.
Okay, well he'll probably jump back in a second. But so anyway, what I was saying was because wrestling sucks, they're trying to manufacture excitement, right? I mean, you see this all the time. Everybody gets jumped in the back, everybody gets interrupted, everybody has, brawls all over the arena. Like they're constantly trying to do stuff to make it seem like the show's exciting, right? And they're doing that because they really have nothing compelling. So they're trying to distract you with mindless action. It's just like when a movie has a lot of explosions because they know they can't write anything good or interesting, right? So they just pump up the special effects or things. So we're trying to get people invested by constantly making everything seem dynamic. But that has a desensitization effect where we see all this stuff and none of it means anything anymore. We're supposed to have these big angles or something like, oh my goodness, Brock Lesnar beat up by Roman Reigns at the Garden and left bloody and laying. Oh, it's so shocking. A wrestler got beat up in wrestling. I had never seen that before. Not every single match, not every single segment, not every single backstage thing. I never see a wrestler get beat up. How novel. What an amazing concept. So my point is, it's okay sometimes to slow things down so that your big action pieces mean more in the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately for us, that's where we fall into having to cover that and not really being able to add much to it. You didn't do anything bad. You didn't do anything good. You kind of just didn't do anything. And now we got to fill an hour or so to try to talk about it. So these are the things that I dread the most as a content creator. I don't know about you two, but that's like shows like this is just where I'm like, oh fuck. But
this is one of your One Piece filler episodes, Vet.
Yeah, man. It doesn't
Like
even
when
have
they're in
Minoru
between
Suzuki in it.
arcs. When they're
It doesn't even have
arcs,
Minoru Suzuki in this episode.
you just get a bunch of filler episodes. You're like, all right, what the hell's going on here? They're in some random ass town, a gang of bandits.
At least it's not as bad as Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah,
But
that is true. Yeah.
on that note, since we're just filling time, who's been watching the New Japan Cup? Anybody watch the New Japan Cup? Everybody? Chat, are you watching it? We just saw Minoru Suzuki and I guess that sad horn means no. But like speaking of Minoru Suzuki, you would have seen him go one-on-one with Hiromu Takahashi recently, and those guys beat the shit out of each other. Like the first 10 minutes of the match, literally 10 minutes, was those guys doing like trading overhand chops. Like who's gonna and it gets to that point where you're like, okay, this is exciting. They're trading overhand chops. Who's gonna back down? And then it starts to get like, okay, are they really gonna just do overhand chops for this long? And then it starts to turn back around into being awesome again because they're still no, really, they're still doing it. The chests are just like open and bleeding, and yeah, pretty good. One in the chat for yes, two for no. Yeah, oh, don't worry, we know it's all going to be twos. But
It's 2 for Buckshot Kid in his own poll. His own poll.
For me, guys, that's a 2. I'm out. Yeah. Well, look, I don't expect that anybody actually watched it, but I am just throwing it out there. If you want to see something that's not just a filler show, check out NewJapanWorld.com. They've got plenty of free content on there.
Or
Anyway.
yeah, you could check out New Japan. What else do we have on the show for today, Vet?
All right, well, let's start from the top. Josh Alexander is doing an in-ring. Ho No Mo interrupts. He does a little back and forth with Tall Ace Austin with Mickey Mouse gloves. And Josh gets the sweet Josh, yes, yeah, whatever you said. When Josh gets the sweet line of when you win world championships, you put the company out of business. So I thought that was a nice little shot.
Very nice touch. Yeah,
That was a good one.
Tall Ace Austin there, and then well, that gets Josh Alexander jumped obviously by these guys. Again, action, beatings, jumping. Like, we're trying to be exciting here. And the usual suspects come to help. All the guys that used to fight Violent by Design are now out here to fight the Honor guys. And then Scott D'Amore comes out and yells a bunch of stuff. Something about, Rich Swann versus Eddie Edwards in the main event. Okay. And then Willie Mack versus Kenny King right now.
But did he say it with the headphones down? Was he like, Kenny King and right now, get in the ring?
Yep.
I think so. Canada Spaceman has a question, by the way. I'm going to interrupt myself. Canada Spaceman has a question. Does New Japan have hot chicks in all capitals? Yes, they literally have hot chicks. They have 2 hot chicks. Only 2. So, like I said, NJPWWorld.com, plenty of free content, plenty of hot chicks.
One thing I thought was kind of odd about this thing was like when they're fighting him, like why was it just felt weird, like they were coming at him one at a time, like it's 6-on-1. Why aren't they all just jumping up at the same time?
Well, that's the rule, right? Haven't you ever seen a martial arts film? One at a time. You don't want to get caught with an errant kick. You got to let the other guys go in one at a time and keep your distance. And then when they fail, then you go in. Right?
Guards! More guards!
You send guards, more guards after all that happens. Come on, Brandon. You've seen the movies. You saw Orgasmo. Did he take many guys on at once?
I have actually not seen Orgasmo. I need to.
Oh, you need to see Orgasmo. Oh, jeez. Okay, can I put him in timeout? Can he be? Hello. Can he be put in timeout?
Yes. I mean,
okay,
he
just
can,
making sure.
But instead, we'll just trust that he will go ahead and watch Orgasmo later.
They have young lions. Also, there's a comment on my phone that you guys aren't going to see here, but the beautiful and talented, she also wrestled in Japan. April Hunter is watching, so don't get nervous, guys. It's okay.
Why would I be nervous?
Don't feel pressure.
I expect that April Hunter watches us every single week. You saying she didn't? Okay. Well, congratulations, April. You finally got yourself some quality content. But anyway, I wanted to put a bow on that last segment with the whole thing about now. Scott D'Amore says everyone is banned from ringside, right?
Everyone.
Did we say something last week about why do they even allow all these people out here at ringside if they know this is going to happen every time? I think
so they can call the guards out, Vet.
But when have they ever banned anybody from ringside? This whole time, they just always let people, the seconds and thirds and fifths, out there to just interfere in the matches. They can see it every week that the matches are being interfered with.
Well, Vet, if you remember, Eric Young last week wasn't supposed to be involved in the match, but came down and got involved in the melee before the match. and then left with all the guards and everyone else that left when it was time to chase everyone off and start the match. So you're right. There's no one is listening to Scott D'Amore with his headphones around his neck. And Sonic the Hedge Rat has shown up today. Very nice new profile picture. I haven't seen this one yet. Got the Sasha Banks glasses on, or the Kanye West glasses. Depends on where you saw those first.
So that's how we kicked off our show with Scott D'Amore booking a match. I guess he didn't have a match booked here, but he has one now. So good, another good Monday Night Raw opening. Did
Monday Night Raw opening.
Did you guys have start with nothing and end with a match? Like when we showed up to the building, we had no card. The card was a blank piece of paper. We had nothing, but it's a good thing you guys got into an argument so that we could have a match.
Do you think Scott planned that, where he was like, all right, I'm going to have everybody come out to the ring so I can kind of look at everyone all at once, and then I'll choose who I want. Like,
Right.
Kenny King's out there. There's Matt Taven. Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll do this. Okay, these guys. And then I'll have Moose just come back to the office. Okay. All right. Everyone, get out of here.
He's a visual booker. He can't just look at the names on the paper. He's got to see see who's dressed like what to really get the match out that the people are going to want to say. Is there any other commentary on this opening bit here?
I did happen to see this, Vet. I watched a little bit of the show on Thursday night going into Friday.
Oh,
I saw the first 20 minutes.
and you loved it, right?
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed this little melee part at the beginning.
All right, that's how you know he's lying. He didn't
Chaos.
watch it.
I
All
did.
right, moving on.
Watch it.
Moving on, we get our first match: Willie Mack versus Kenny King. As far as I can tell, these guys had a match, and Willie Mack won. The end. I didn't see anything else. Brandon, did you see anything else?
I know it's like during the forum exchanges, it felt like they looked kind of weak. I thought it could have been more effective if they would have through less forums with more follow through.
Okay, guys, you got your tip right there. Follow through on your forums, much like Minoru Suzuki and Hiromu Takahashi did in their New Japan Cup main event match. So next up is the spot where I talked about already with Moose. He goes in D'Amore's office, threateningly, coolly, just standing there looking totally cool and professional in his suit and calmly talking and not raising his voice. And, and Scott D'Amore just, flustered and fat and disheveled and just looking very unprofessional next to Moose. But that's basically, we already talked about it. He's got to sign that contract or D'Amore stripping the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get John Skyler, which I always say why. And then we're also getting a real Ace Austin, and we're getting Crazy Steve. So this is a triple threat match. Another one of their mini triple threat matches to determine a number one contender for something.
For a triple threat match.
Yeah,
Yeah, winner moves on to another triple threat match.
that's right. At least they switched it up last time. I think it's a triple threat match to join a four-way. Or was it a four-way to join a triple threat? I don't remember.
I think, yeah, 4-way to a triple threat.
Yeah, that's very, very innovative. Trey Miguel's on commentary. He had a couple funny, he had a couple good lines on commentary. He said he thought that when Ace Austin first got to Impact that he was a magician, which is funny. He also said,
Not those kind of four ways. Wrestling four ways.
yeah,
Yeah.
way sexier.
Giggity giggity.
Right.
So he thought Ace Austin was a magician. Funny. John Skyler is one to watch in 2022. Funnier. Ace Austin goes over with the fold. This is your standard TNA stuff happens match, and stuff happened in it. But ultimately, I believe between John Skyler and Crazy Steve, I don't really think anybody thought they were serious contenders for an X Division championship. So obviously, it was going to be original, legitimate Ace Austin winning this match. Any thoughts?
I thought it could have been Crazy Steve, maybe because they could have had him keep going with the stuff with Speedball and I think who else there was involved in that.
Yeah, was Speedball even on this episode?
Nope.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm surprised they didn't have him be involved in this match some way with with Madman.
Yeah.
I am liking the pairing of Madman and Ace because they're doing different things with the bodyguard gimmick that are they're making it their own, which I'm liking.
Yeah, and specifically what they're doing is they just job Madman out ridiculously, which that's never usually happened to the bodyguard gimmick before. You remember when like back in the 90s, when Shawn would have Psycho Sid, and then Psycho Sid would go for his match with Duke the Dumpster Droese and get small packaged and lose all the time, to just really hammer home the credibility of Psycho Sid as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Remember when Diesel used to get beat all the time?
Oh yeah, all the time, bro. Doink would just like hit him with that whoopee cushion,
Kick out of the big boot.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, so they're really they are innovating with the bodyguard gimmick in that way. Another innovation is that we got Bhupinder Gujar with Gia and no music underneath, interrupted by Raj Singh, doing his usual thing where he complains that Bhupinder's not acknowledging him, and then another interruption from Larry D.
Sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
There's someone else that wanted to be acknowledged. Sorry.
I know, Larry D. Larry D wanted to be acknowledged. Acknowledge Larry D, Colin. He doesn't even work here. What's he doing here? This is where we really need a D-Lo to sell Larry D's appearance.
Ay, cabrón. Oh.
That'll be the Larry D sound clip.
Okay. Well, this guy doesn't work here. And he says, what? Just because I don't work here, I can't just show up and say hi? Like, yeah, that's kind of what that means. Buy a ticket, Larry D. So yeah.
But wait, how did Honor No More get in? If they're treating Larry D like this, but Honor No More gets to come in.
Because Honor No More won a match. So
can Larry D not get a match?
That's up to Scott D'Amore. It's not up to me. But
yes.
Yeah. We all know everything can be solved with wrestling matches, so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're basically just underwear anyway, so what's the difference, right?
Can we solve Russia and Ukraine with a wrestling match? Can we get Zelensky versus Putin in a no holds barred street fight?
Yes, we can. Oh wait, no, we can't. Sorry, I misspoke. Yeah, so the return of Larry D, very exciting.
Canada Spaceman's not paying attention to the episode.
Either that or he's being a smartass as usual. Well, he's in space, so you can't really, you can't really hold him to the same standards. Violent by Design is back to their old ways with music underneath. So they're doing the promos where they play music and the guys stand in a dark room and they do cuts where they just show close-ups of Eric Young screaming, whatever, every few seconds. Yeah. Suitably creepy. And perhaps a step backwards, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Should Violent by Design just go right back into their old shtick? Is there no way to evolve this forward as a group?
I mean, this definitely felt like a step backwards for them, absolutely, like going back to this promo, but at least I kind of explained, what was going on and how this is like a long-range thing they had going to get the belts back, and it's just the follow-up is what's most important right now.
Yeah, I think the promo was fine, but it's kind of
especially creepy. I think it gets the point across. It's supposed to be like he's trying to do the Sanity thing in Impact, like his vision of what he wanted Sanity to be before it got fucked up, going in the machine that is the WWE. So he's got weirdo looking guys and then a big giant ass looking dude. So I mean, you might as well go with the weird creepy gimmick. But you're right. I mean, it can get stale very fast because we saw them peel off Rhino and then that feud, then the feud with the Bullet Club and the Good Brothers. You know, they're kind of uh, stuck in that like loophole because I feel like they're in faction limbo because there's just too many factions right now in Impact Wrestling. We need a trios title.
Man, how will we ever figure out a number one contender for that?
With a 6-way
a 9-man match.
Yes, yeah.
A three-way tag, a three-team three-way tag to get into a three-team three-way tag.
Tornado tag, 12 people in the ring all at once.
It's very innovative. Let's see it. Let's also see.
Four-man
Okay,
tag titles.
we got a huge multi-lady match coming up.
The ladies.
Yeah.
Can you do? You have to do this segment
as Leon
as the
Phelps?
ladies' man. Yes.
Yeah.
do this?
Okay. So we have the Influence and Fighter and Flavor versus Inspiration and Hardcore Bethies. Yeah, this was disgusting.
How disgusting was it, Leon?
It was Kmart, Walmart, pina colada butt lotion disgusting. No, I mean seriously, it was just a match. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. They did some stuff. They kicked Caleb in the balls and Mickey James pinned Tasha Steelz, so that's why that's probably why Tasha attacked her at the concert because she got a legal pin in a legal match here. There was very little influence. That's the only thing I really noticed. Or not influence, but yeah, influence. Like they barely Medea. Yeah. I don't quite have. Well, Medea kind of sounds like the ladies' man a little bit, if I had to say. Yeah, it seemed like the influence like barely tagged into this match. Just like a few seconds somewhere in the middle, but mostly they weren't involved. So,
Brandon, do you have a Caleb update?
His balls are probably still sore.
Balls are sore, ladies and gentlemen. That has been your Caleb with a K update. Back to you, Vet.
yes, Canada Spaceman in the chat. Yes, Cavatier. Yes, that is the drink. Yes,
the drink.
Yeah. Oh hey, we got Jonah again. He's doing a promo in what is this, like a fire escape in an alley that he's standing on? Like, it would have been funny if the whole thing collapsed and he fell down into the alley, but anyway, they were going with something a little more serious here.
Behave.
So, he just basically said that he just cut a promo on PCO, even though he already beat PCO, but now he's kicking the man when he's down. And Buckshot Kid says the Jonah promo is pretty good for Jonah. I guess I'll agree with that. And he said he proved that PCO is human after all, is basically the point of his promo. So I think the only reason that you would do this is because there's going to be a rematch coming up shortly. So also, the Honor No More guys didn't seem too perturbed about anything that happened to PCO, or they didn't want to get involved in that match, like, or get any retribution on him. Like, you would have thought they would have all jumped Jonah in this fire escape, during this promo to get some revenge, because it seems like that's how they roll. But I guess when you're PCO, you're only just like very tangentially part of the group. They don't really care what you do. You probably wander off a lot, as an undead zombie, so they can't constantly be supervising you all the time or something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to make some sense of this.
It's probably one of those things where they know, like, all right, guys, like, look, PCO's just doing his thing again. Just let him. You remember what happened last time? He started throwing chairs. Mike Bennett was out for 3 months. Like, we can't make PCO mad. Just keep him happy. And, if he wants to go fight Jonah, just let him go fight Jonah. He doesn't want us involved. We'll stay in the back. We listen to PCO. We'll stay in the back. unlike Scott D'Amore. We don't respect Scott. We're going to do what we need to do. Scott or Carrie, and maybe our new boss, Tony. But we were also told, don't expect to have jobs. So I don't know where we're going to be. But yeah, do you like my gloves?
Oh, very nice.
They're very white. I got them for my next match.
Gotcha. The well, before we let's see, we got okay, the Bullet Club. We're at the Bullet Club now. They get an in-ring. They all kind of say some stuff. Mostly Jay calls out Alex Shelley, who he obviously just beat at the pay-per-view. So now we're following up on people we already beat again. But he calls him out. Shelley comes out. They have quite a back and forth. I'm not going to recap the whole thing for you, but it was something to do with, oh, well, I made you, so you have to acknowledge me. I guess it sounds very Roman Reigns-esque. And, sorry. I thought, Colin, you looked like you were about to say something. I apologize. So,
you're good.
It's basically just the history of these guys and their relationship. And it turns into, Chris Sabin coming out. And then we end up with a match with Jay White and Chris Bay versus Motor City Machine Guns next week. But that's next week, not this week. That's next week. But yeah, I thought this was a good way to work a little bit of real life into pro wrestling. It doesn't really venture too far out of the realm of pro wrestling, so they just took a situation that is organic and made something out of it. So I like that here. The Good Brothers are what they are. Jay White's good. Alex Shelley was pretty good here. And then you got to bring in a ringer like Chris Sabin if you want to win matches. You're not going to get it done just being Alex Shelley. You're going to have to bring in Goldberg, basically, the Goldberg of Impact. Yep.
You know why he's so good in the ring, Vet?
Why is that?
Because he slows down time. And he's got smoke.
Well, he's the one that slows.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's slowing down time. I think Orange Cassidy stole Chris Sabin's gimmick.
Well, I feel like they're in real time and he's in slow motion. So shouldn't they be able to punch him like 5 times before he could get one?
He gets, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to try it sometime. But yeah, so this was a set up a match for next week. It was fine. Any other thoughts on this?
No thoughts. But Canada Spaceman wants to know if you're George Costanza, Brandon, because it looks like you're always busy, but you don't do much.
I never watched Seinfeld, so I'm not really familiar with the George Costanza character.
Oh Jesus!
No Orgasmo, no
two.
Seinfeld. The
two. This guy
two
over
comedy
here.
Pinnacles.
This guy. Oh my gosh, but I think I'm having something today. I'm just, you know what? I'm just so distraught.
He can't even find his button right now.
You could use a hamburger every now and again.
I just need something to power back up. Get back into this, Vet.
Hamburger?
Can I have a hamburger right now?
Please?
You can. But will you? That's a different story. Well, I'm sure there's a good reason that Brandon's never watched. I'm
In
sure
all
there's a good
those
reason.
books on DVDs on books, you don't have Orgasmo or the full collection of Seinfeld on DVD on book.
It's on Netflix right now. I believe the
It's
entire
true.
series is on Netflix right now.
I'm sure you have someone's password and login for Netflix, because I think 95% of Netflix watchers are piggybacking off of somebody else. True story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's going to be one of those situations too where if Brandon decided to watch the entire run of Seinfeld, he'd just spend the entire 9 seasons going, "Oh, that's where that's from. Oh, that's where that's from. Oh, that's where that's from." All these references. Yeah. So next up is Josh Alexander wants a match right now. He's had enough of sitting around and having time off. And so Demore's like, no, you're not gonna have. You can have a match, but it's not gonna be against Eddie Edwards. It's not gonna be this week. You can have a match with Tall Ace Austin with Mickey Mouse gloves next week. Okay, so
Oh boy.
yeah, yeah, we're getting it. We're getting it. It's happening next week. Next week is a big week. Apparently, they pushed everything off of this week all the way to next week. Nothing exciting for this week.
I'll make sure to watch next week.
Yep.
All the
Next week
exciting
is basically a pay-per-view. It's basically another pay-per-view.
God damn.
But then we get Deanna with Gia, no music underneath, interrupted by Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost. And Deanna is just like, you know what? I will have a triple threat match for both these titles next week. Next week. So when does a heel ever offer up both of her championships in a match that she has a 33 and a third % chance of winning? Like, well, I don't really get that. That's kind of backwards. But
What if they both pin Deanna at the same time? Do they lay claim to both titles? And do they have to share both of them, or do they just be like, all right, I'll take the Ring of Honor one, you take the AAA one, and we'll be good to go?
I don't even know. You know, do they have both titles on the line simultaneously, or is it going to be like a
Maybe they have to
WrestleMania
pick
20
one.
thing where first fall for one championship, second fall for a different championship?
Or do Lady Frost and her have to decide which title they're going to wrestle her for before? Like, because, they go out there and she holds them up, and then, like, the girl points at which one she wants. So they have to, like, kind of like, all right, so you want... I don't really know how to speak Spanish, so I don't know if I can really go down
nobody
and put
wants
the
the
title
AAA.
down. But Ring of Honor's not really around anymore. But we could go to AEW because Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor now. So let's okay, we're gonna do the Ring of Honor one. Yes.
I think that could. Speaking of which, a little news item I saw today that kind of broke my heart. It looks like that Roxy has signed with the WWE. So there goes her promising young career. There goes 5 years off of her career.
Are they
where
gonna
she's
make
gonna
her a
get
ref?
fucking ruined? Yeah, exactly. Fucking Jesus Christ, man. She had a shot. She was so promising, but anyway. So yeah, so Deanna in a triple threat next week. Any other closing comments on this? Are we excited?
I am excited.
Brandon, you don't look too excited. So
Brandon doesn't look excited.
yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
know.
it did seem like out of character for her to be, not really out of character, but more of a babyface thing for her to be like cocky and arrogant enough to be like, you know what, I'll put both titles up against both of you.
Right.
But when did you say that match was?
Next week.
9 days from tonight.
Well, maybe 4 days from tonight, but
Then you shouldn't have said it.
that's the greatest promo of all time. You know that, right?
Yeah, that really is.
It has long since surpassed anything like the Austin
I'll have to watch
316
that
or
at the end.
yeah, just
You just don't get to do what you want to do.
you don't
you
even
don't-
make the matches. I make the matches.
I make the match.
Better than
It's
Steiner
just
Man.
pacing back and forth.
Better than
this
Steiner
nervous
Math.
energy. All right, I got to pull that up.
Oh, I thought
You
you
guys,
always had
we'll
it on
keep we'll
standby.
play that at the end of the
Okay.
show. I'm gonna get it ready.
All right. Well, while you're looking for that, all we really have left is Rich Swann versus Eddie, with Maria on commentary. I mean, these guys had a match. It was a match. Like, what do you expect? This is like, if I tell you these guys had a match, you can close your eyes and you can be like, okay, I basically feel like I watched it. You know what you're gonna get from these guys. Nothing shocking, nothing surprising. Eddie Edwards wins, of course, because you got to get heat for the guy that turned traitor. But for their part, they did exactly they delivered what they were supposed to deliver, a TV main event. I thought they did. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay that close of attention to it. Partially is because I didn't want to watch it. Partially because I didn't need to watch it, because I knew that it's in capable enough hands at this level. Like, what am I gonna tell them? Like, I make fun of Eddie Edwards enough. Rich Swann, he sure does love his flippies, but I mean, he's an entertaining guy. I like him. So it was there. It was just there. Maybe anybody else that watched this can contribute more than I can, or maybe Brandon might have some notes, but I thought it was fine. But the show just ends flat after Eddie wins. It's just like Eddie wins, and there's Honor No More in the ring with their hands raised and off the air. So no cliffhanger for next week. I guess we have enough cliffhangers for next week, right? We've got all these matches in this pay-per-view caliber TV show. But yeah, so anything I missed?
Nah, it was basically a match. Like you said, you can with these two guys, you can pretty much figure how it's gonna go. Just trading moves till one of them stayed down for 3.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, trading moves specifically. That's one spot I didn't like. I don't like the whole, I'm going to super kick you.
Yeah.
And then you bounce off the ropes and you super kick me. And then I come back and I do a other kick thing. And then
Right,
we're all down.
And with Eddie's finisher being a knee to the face, like, okay, how am I supposed to buy that as a finisher now if you hit him in the head this many times and that didn't get it done?
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's a cumulative effect. Without all those previous kicks to the head, that knee wouldn't have been effective. So if he had opened with the Boston Knee Party, Swann would have just kicked out. He had to wear him down first. So, yep.
According
So
to Liz,
that's
that was meh.
that. It was kind of. It was in general, as a show, they didn't give us a hell of a lot to talk about or comment on, and that's fine with me because it gets us out of here and off to bed a little bit earlier. But, for all you Channel Attitude subscribers, I hope you don't blame us. We still we had to stretch it out to get to an hour. We had to give a Scott Hall a eulogy, and we had to have me plugging New Japan for a couple extra minutes. And, we still just barely.
How many Channel Attitude subscribers did you say? The
millions
and millions. Yes. I have now become rich thanks to Channel Attitude. So thank all of you millions people for subscribing. But don't let that stop you. And don't let Colin just running down his entire Roadcaster's list of clips. Don't let that deter you.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, you were supposed to be here
I was
today,
supposed to
actually.
be here today.
That clip doesn't fit.
Malzaka.
That clip fits.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I gotta get a Mickey Mouse one. What was the there was one movie that we
Just tell him that's Mickey Mouse.
there was
They
a
don't know the difference between Mickey Mouse and that
True.
Pillsbury Doughboy. It's essentially the same character.
there was something that you mentioned earlier that I need to go clip out, and I can't remember what it is. I'll have to go back and listen to the show. It'll remind me.
Yeah, Labrat says we need more Moose.
We do need more moose.
Yep.
You can't just have this guy show up for like 2 minutes and expect that to be okay.
Yeah,
He's your
not
champion.
not with your champion. No, that's unacceptable.
But I got to go back and watch Next Level because I need to see your reaction on Dolph Ziggler winning the belt.
Okay, go ahead. Which can also be found channelattitude.com. Go listen to Next Level Wrestling Review.
Buckshot Kid says, "I'm surprised you guys didn't talk about Big E. Another tragic
Well, I know
injury."
I know Buckshot Kid only watches Impact, but I was on the Smack Attack and I cut a promo at the end of that about the whole thing. I won't try to like recreate the sentiment here, but just to recap, and we saw Big E get suplexed on his head and broke his neck, and it's just one of those things that unfortunately happens. Ridge Holland maybe a little bit at fault, but it's still like just a freak accident. It could have happened anyways. But my point that I made in my speech was, for these guys to go out there and do these things, they're doing it for the fans. They're doing it to try to deliver something to the people that showed up to see them. And they can't be doing that because the company that they're working for specifically, the WWE is not giving them anything to work with, so they have to go out there and kill themselves because the company's not going to get them over. The company's not going to do anything for anybody. They have to struggle against the company. They have to, they have to work against that lack of support. So they try to do that by being exciting and delivering exciting matches. Again, to what I was saying at the top of the show, like, we're trying to manufacture excitement because we're not able to just put it on paper and execute it. We have to trick people into thinking these things are exciting and interesting, and it just doesn't work. So guys like Big E are out there and they're trying to deliver a quality show, but you don't need to do that. You're Big E. You're over. You don't need to get suplexed on the floor to help get Ridge Holland over. It could have just been a simple clothesline or something like that, and you take a bump and then you're out of the match for the finish. It doesn't have to be something like that. You don't have to have such a you don't have to kill yourself when the WWE's not helping you on the other end. Think about somebody else we know that's trying to kill themselves, like Shotzi Blackheart, right? So Shotzi, look at Shotzi. Shotzi, we know, is reckless and takes these risks and stuff in the ring, but she just loves to do that. I don't know who she's doing that for. It's just herself. She loves doing that. That's the way she likes to do it. But she doesn't. But you look at all the gimmicks that she has. She's got like 20 gimmicks. She comes out, she yells 10 catchphrases. She's got a helmet with horns on it. She's got a leather jacket. She's got a tank. She's got all this shit, right? And then they're like, okay, let's call Shotzi up to the main roster. Now Shotzi's on the main roster. And then they're like, you know what? No tank. You know what? No helmet. You know what? You're a heel now. And now you're off TV.
Main roster.
Right? You had a marketing machine on your hands. Like, how many of those things that I mentioned could be turned into toys that you could sell to little kids? You could have sold little toy tanks, little helmets, just green wigs.
The outfit she wore at Halloween Havoc.
A bunch of t-shirts that have all her catchphrases. Welcome to the ball pit. Who's your daddy? Taking care of business.
Oh.
All these things that she says. You know what I mean? Like that was 3 t-shirts right off the bat, right on her debut. You could have shown up to the venue and been like, who's this Shotzi Blackheart person? I'm gonna go to the merch stand. What? She has 3 t-shirts. Okay. And they took all that away for what? Why'd they do it? So now what is she supposed to do? You see what I'm saying? So that's why these people fucking break their necks, because they're not getting any help. They take away all your tools for getting over. And when you try to come up with something, they're like, yeah, don't do that. So now you just got to take a bump on the concrete floor?
Yes.
Stop doing it. Don't do it anymore. Don't do it. Just have a boring show. The fans are going to appreciate you regardless. The fans have that mentality. They will appreciate you. She could have been a talking doll with all the catchphrases, says Liz. Exactly. So, Big E's the same thing. Like, what do they give Big E going into WrestleMania? They give him fucking those 2 idiots smashing Sheamus and Ridge Holland, smashing up a generic looking ATV, a cheap generic looking ATV with sledgehammers. That's their angle going into WrestleMania. Are you fucking kidding me? So it's no wonder that a guy like Big E is like, I got to do something out there, Like, what is it? What else? They're not going to sell 1 ticket to WrestleMania because of that fucking angle with the ATVs. But guess what, Big E? They're not going to sell 1 fucking angle or one fucking ticket to WrestleMania if you take a suplex on the floor either. So just be careful. Take care of yourselves out there. And until the WWE starts giving you the support that you need, don't literally break your back for them. That was my whole thing. So
Don't break your neck for them. Jeez. But this could be the end of his career. They're saying like the vertebrae that he broke, especially the one that he broke, like the one that is usually, they say if you break it, it's either you're dead or you're paralyzed. And that one's very you need to.
Well, the good news is. The good news is on the Big E front, is he says, according to him from his own hospital bed on Twitter, is that he doesn't need surgery and there's no permanent damage and he can move all of his digits, so he'll probably be fine.
Yeah, exactly. It's C1.
They make it sound like, you know, when they say you have a broken neck or a cracked vertebrae, they make it sound really bad. But obviously things can crack in there's degrees of injury, right? A crack can be a very tiny, it could be a hairline fracture, something that just needs rest to repair itself. If he doesn't need surgery after that, after getting dropped on his neck like that, and he doesn't need surgery, that's a very good sign. So I'm sure Big E will be all right. I'm also quite sure he'll never take that bump again. But let this be a lesson for everybody, to just maximize your TV time without killing yourself on a random SmackDown. On a random SmackDown, not a go-home show, not a pay-per-view, just a random SmackDown. You don't need to be taking a suplex on the floor in any case, even if it went perfectly. You don't need to do that. It's not necessary. It did not enhance the match. It did not help. Even if and they finished the match, and it wouldn't have even mattered. Like if Big E took the suplex and was fine, it wouldn't have mattered at all, because the whole rest of the thing was about Kofi Kingston. So no reason to even do it. So I don't know, man, but I'm just saying, like, for these wrestlers have to have the perspective of, you need to have a life outside of this someday, and if you don't want it to be, you know, rolling yourself around in a chair, then stop taking unnecessary risks. There are times to take a risk. There's times to be, and James McIver brought up the point too, like, you know, when they do stuff like big stunts, you know, like if Shane McMahon has to fall off something or whatever, those things are like meticulously planned out and you know, as safe as they could possibly be. But these kind of things that just happen on the spur of the moment, those are the things that are really dangerous. You know, no one's really gotten hurt off of one of those planned stunts. That, you know, where the stunt went off like normal. I'm not going to include the obvious thing that probably everybody's thinking when I say this, because that was a whole other thing. But I'm talking about all those times where they set up a stunt, pulled off the stunt. You usually don't hear about anybody getting injured off those, but people get injured off the stupidest things in wrestling. So you just have to minimize your risk as much as possible.
I mean, just look at Chelsea Green. She can't even keep her wrists healthy enough.
Right. Well, I mean, that's just unfortunate, right? But then again, you look at how it happened. It probably happened on that dive. I have to go back and confer with my man in the crowd and see if that's when he heard it break. And but that's the thing. So she's a person that's got a gimmick. She's not even quite using her usual gimmick yet. It seems like they're building to it with the Mickie James thing.
Yeah.
But that's how you're going to get over. It's not going to be on a suicide dive. No one's going to remember Chelsea Green for suicide dives. So how many times do you have to hurt yourself before you get it? You know? I don't know. But I know that nobody at Impact is telling Chelsea, like, hey, you got to dive out the ring, kid. That's just what we do here. I know nobody's telling that. They don't. It's up to the wrestlers to do what they want to do. And I'm sure nobody told Big E, hey, Big E, you have to get suplex on the floor tonight. Sorry, we're paying you. This is what we want. I know that didn't happen. So it's up to the guys to do it. That's why I say guys don't do it. You know, if it was a situation where you're in a job and you're forced to do it, that's one thing, but it's not that. You come up with your own match. The writers don't write a match for you. They don't tell you what moves to do and what not to do. And especially as a former WWE champion, you have the agency to say, yeah, I'm not doing that tonight. What are they going to do? So, you know, anyway, that's a long tangent. It's probably longer than the original promo I cut on SmackDown. Colin, are you muted?
You're gonna put over your social media vet. That's what you're gonna do right now.
Oh.
I'd pulled my my thing down because the Fiend had walked in the room. She was pulling drawers open.
There was one time when somebody did get their was told to do a spot and ended up having a very nasty injury, which was with Sid Vicious.
Yeah, that's weird. His injury was what? Jumping off the top rope to do something?
Yep, and apparently
Yeah.
Johnny told him to do the spot, and he was like uncomfortable with it.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
you
it was
should-
like that axe handle or something that he was doing, and he dropped down and like he twisted his ankle or like just broke the feet, like his leg just snapped in half. I do remember seeing that video clip.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. That's going to rest on Sid Vicious's shoulders or ankle because he's way more of a somebody than Johnny Ace is. So he shouldn't have to listen to a fucking thing Johnny Ace said. If he went out there and didn't do it, what was going to happen to him? Nothing. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. You got to know when you have the authority to do it. But it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have the authority, I don't care if you're 30 years in the business or 30 seconds in the business, getting ready to lace up your boots for your first match. If someone says, don't pull this up, man, do not pull this video
You
up.
don't want to see it?
No, nobody wants to see this. We've already seen it and we don't want to see it anymore.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, you don't jump off the rope to do a kick. You know what I mean? That's not. Nobody does that.
Not
Jump off
even
the
a
rope to do
torpedo
kick.
drop kick.
No, but like a one-footed kick.
I know.
I'm gonna do a jumping big boot. No,
Why not?
kidding me? So, but regardless, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you think it's gonna get you blackballed. If there's something you don't feel, this is a message for every wrestler. It doesn't matter how long you've been in or how short you've been in. If you're not comfortable doing something, don't do it. Do not do it. There's always another way to get to where you want to go. If that gets you heat, oh well. You're the guy that's difficult to work with now because you didn't want to take a fucking spinning pile driver on the fucking off the roof of the building into a flatbed truck. I guess he's too difficult to work with. He didn't want to do that. Fine. Let that be your reputation. You be the guy that says no. Just don't be the guy that says no, I don't need any more applesauce. I'm full, thanks, in the hospital.
Yes. Don't be that guy. Vit, put over your social media.
I'm at Opinion Haver everywhere.
There you
Every
go.
fucking where. Especially Twitch.tv where you can see me play Elden Ring. And I look forward to seeing all of you there.
Sorry, I was getting a text. Brandon, let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitch at Miss Tia the Transarchist, where I'm been playing more. Well, I've been kind of absent lately, but I've been playing. But when I'm on there, I'm usually playing some WoW, Burning Crusade Classic. Hopefully, at the end of the month, if the funds come as I'm hoping they do, should be able to start getting some stuff ready. So I start doing some PS2 games.
Oh, really cool. Okay. Anything in
Nice.
particular?
Parasite Eve 2 is the big one I want to start playing again.
Whoa. So random. Are you not going to play Parasite Eve 1? We're all going to be lost.
Yeah, how are we going to know? What's going on?
I mean, they are sequels, but you can play the second one without like playing the first one. Like they drop enough where it's like you can do it without having to have played the first one.
Okay.
If you say so.
Hey, Vet, don't be a snob. Okay, you let that man play whatever video games that he wants, all right? You got your Sifu and your Elden Ring.
I know. I just want to watch Parasite Eve 1, that's all.
Yes,
That's all
okay.
wrong. But you could play on your PS2. It plays PS1 discs.
Cross-platforming at its finest.
And Colin, do you have a promo for us or not? I think you had a promo
I do.
that you've
I
been
do have a
queuing up this
promo.
whole time.
I
Okay.
do have a promo for you right here. It's going to be Sid Vicious breaking his leg. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit.
I've secretly embedded it in this video. So I can't find the actual video, so this is like a reaction video.
Oh
But,
man, what do you can't
but-
find? He had it pulled
Can't even
down.
promise people matches. I make the matches, and I'm going to tell you right now, Kenny. 9 days from tonight, you got time to get ready, man. 9 days from tonight, you have to wrestle him 9 days from tonight on Dynamite, live on Dynamite, live on
What is
Dynamite.
happening?
Wrestle him. If you win, if you beat him, you get a shot at the title.
And then he just ends it so quick right there. 9 days.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I didn't know Powder reviewed wrestling.
That's not. No, that was a. Wasn't that a Chunk from the Goonies? Or not Chunk, but Sloth.
guys.
Sloth. Yeah.
Rocky Road.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, if you've never seen that before, you would thought, oh yeah, Buckshot wants me to play Until Dawn. Well, you know, I only got a few hundred more hours in Elden Ring, and then I'll get on to the next thing. Did it look like, if you've never seen that before, it looked like this is all part of an angle where somebody had squirted lemon juice in Tony Khan's eyes right beforehand when he came out there.
What was
No,
that
that's
thing in
just
his
how he
hand?
was. Nothing happened to Tony before that. That's just how he is normally. So it was great.
What was that thing in his hand?
Look like it's the script.
Yeah, it was a
You know, he
crumpled up
keeps
format.
notes. He keeps notes in a little Star Trek blue notebook, like a little captain's log.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, greatest promo ever.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram at Colin Weislong. You can find me tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the lady who was here earlier, the beautifully talented April Hunter, with the A Show, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/the A Show. Make sure you guys come on over and follow us on Twitter. Also, for those of you in the chat tonight, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, smash something, preferably the like button.
Smash that ass.
You can smash that ass if you want. No, you know, whatever you want to smash it, just as long as it's one half of the smashing is of the like button. That's all I care about. Let's
If you love
see.
smashing, then come and watch me use a giant warhammer in Elden Ring on twitch.tv/opinionhaver.
I've been playing Skyrim, and the guy that I use is using two-handed weapons, and instead of going battle axe, I went with a maul. So I've just been running around using an elven. I have an elven maul right now that I'm just leveling up, and in Skyrim, it's like looks like an eagle as I smash shit. It's pretty fun.
That's nice.
Also, thank you, Buckshot Kid. Follow Ridiculously Random Pod on Twitch, on Twitter at Your Random Pod. You can find us on Twitch and on here, the How Many Media Group YouTube channel. 7:30 or 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. Myself, Big Ray, we do the Ridiculously Random Podcast. This next upcoming top 5 for the show, top 5 favorite game shows. Top 5. What is your number 1 favorite game show?
I don't know. I never thought about it. There's a lot of great ones, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
You don't know? Okay. What about you, Brandon? Favorite game show?
There's a few
Dating
of them.
game, newlywed game.
I'd probably say the original Press Your Luck as well as the remake.
That's a good one.
What else was there? And Greed. Greed was a good one.
Greed's a good one. Jeopardy's a good one. What about the Go Big Show? The Go Big Show's not on anyone's list? No? Anyone?
Nope, it's not on anyone's list, just like Cody was not on Monday Night Raw tonight.
So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit up Big Ray Hernandez as he has turned 46 years old today. I texted him to see if he wanted to come on the show so we could all wish him a happy birthday. He replied back, "Thank you, my friend, but I literally just got finished having sex with my wife. LOL. So, ... He posted a gif of SpongeBob kissing Squidward while he tucked him into bed.
I mean,
So happy birthday, Big Ray. From all of us here at the Impact Attack. The VBC wishes you a happy birthday.
I'm going to use this episode as when he cries to me later why I didn't wish him happy birthday. I'll say, no, it was on the episode.
It was on the episode. I didn't actually say it. Colin said it for us, for the
Yeah.
VBC.
I was going to say it, but Colin just said it, so I didn't feel like being
And then you
redundant.
tell him that you're the V in the VBC.
Yeah, don't step on Colin's feet.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Ray? Don't step on my feet. Throw shit. Like my son. You missed an awesome, ridiculously random podcast. I don't know if you guys see the fingers in the hole emojis that are getting thrown up in the chat here. But you'll have to go back and check out last week's show as Big Ray Hernandez showed my son how to do this. And then he proceeded to do it while his mom was watching and on the internet for everyone to see. So now that's the cool kids are all putting fingers pointing in the hole emojis. It's kind of what they're doing now. It's cool kids. Can you believe he taught my son that? But
Every week that I don't appear on the Ridiculously Random podcast, I feel like I dodged several bullets.
you did. But guess what you didn't dodge? The fact that you were wrong about us not only lasting for 6 weeks. It's okay though, Vet. We've got Gorilla Glue on those cracks. We got some Flex Seal.
But they are there.
I slapped the Flex Seal on there. I was like,
But they are there. They are. It is cracking, and you have to constantly keep repairing it, and it's not going to last. Sure, you spite outlasted my prediction. Sure, anybody can spite. Anybody can last due to spite.
Yeah, I sucked that cock, you know.
Oh, there's another crack. Big Ray's not happy when you play that drop.
It's fucking awesome.
I mean, it is though.
I'm not. Look, I'm just saying.
You know who else was there that night? He was doing that thing.
Big Poppy,
Poppy, yeah.
the Red Sox.
They were all there.
Yeah.
They're all there.
I think you still got a few drops left on your board that you haven't played. You want to just run through them all like you did on the last episode?
No, we're good. We're good.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Your Impact Attack on channelattitude.com, on the Hameen Media Group podbean.com channel. Thank you, everyone, for coming in the chat and enjoying the time with us. For the Vet, for Brandon, I'm Colin Wysong. We will catch you next week. Y'all have a good night and peace.